Everyone, hey. Slugfest Wizard back at it again, here to do my picks, my predictions for UFC 125. That's tonight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I know it's really late, so let's just jump right on into it. It was co-main event, Chris Leben versus Brian Stann. Originally it was going to be Jose Aldo versus Jonathan Grisby, and Jose Aldo pulled out with an injury. He cannot make it because he will not defend the UFC featherweight championship title after the merge. So, and then the co-main event was going to be Shane Carwin versus Roy Nelson, but Shane Carwin is currently recovering from back surgery, a successful back surgery from the hospital. So we're going to start from the top. The UFC lightweight champion of the world, Frankie the Answer Edgar, taking on undefeated Gray the Bully Maynard. There are a lot of people that are complaining, or some people complaining about this fight. I'm looking forward to it. It's probably going to go all 5 rounds. I pretty much have a good idea what I expect from this fight. It's going to happen. But first, Frankie Edgar, always the underdog, yet always the winner. That's what he's been basically. He's kind of become the Rocky of the UFC in a way. Before he fought Sean Shirk, no one gave him a chance. He beat him. Before he fought BJ Penn, no one gave him a chance. He beat BJ Penn, the most dominant lightweight to ever set foot in the UFC, and it was by judge's decision. Most of his wins are by judge's decision, of course. And last of all, well, he beat BJ Penn a second time too, which was more decisive, and that was when he really impressed me. And what he's all about is his endless cardio, his gas tank, which is better than Gray Maynard's, I think, his footwork, his sharp, accurate strikes that don't necessarily have knockout power, but he constantly keeps you guessing, he constantly keeps you working, and he constantly presses the action all the time. An outstanding college wrestler. He trains under Ricardo Almeida. He has 1 or 2 submission wins, and Gray Maynard coming off of a victory over Kenny Florian, in which basically I was disappointed with Kenny Florian's performance. I picked Florian to win that one, and Gray Maynard, he shows up, scores the 4th fastest knockout in UFC history, but since then has had 6 or 7 decisions in a row. He's not about finishing fights. And he's not the most popular fighter in the UFC, let's just say that. Sometimes I'm frustrated with him because I'll see him go for a submission attempt, and yet somehow he never ends up getting it, and I'm like, why? So what do I think is going to happen in this fight? I think here's how it's going to go. Frankie Edgar is going to come out and do what he does best. He's going to stick and move, keep the fight on its feet where he has the advantage. Gray Maynard is going to try to maybe land a few blows that are probably not going to rock Edgar in any type of way. Gray Maynard is going to try for a takedown attempt. Then Edgar is going to see the takedown coming, and he's either going to try to pull guard or try for a submission off his back. Edgar needs to work on submissions off of his back against Gray Maynard, and he cannot allow himself to get taken down over and over again. So with that being said, of course, I am done picking against Frankie Edgar in the UFC right now, so I'm going to pick Edgar to defeat Gray Maynard by a 5-round unanimous decision, in which Gray Maynard will probably win the first or the second round, but only due to his takedowns and his wrestling dominance. I think Frankie Edgar has grown much more than when the first time they fought. Frankie Edgar's only loss was by Gray Maynard the first time, but you guys all know that. And I see that happening, basically. I see Edgar being too confusing for Maynard, and I see Edgar defending the belt. So, good luck, guys. That's what I see going on right there. Next fight, Chris Leben versus Brian Stann. Chris Leben, once considered an overrated fighter since getting knocked out by Anderson Silva in Anderson Silva's UFC debut, and since then it's been kind of hit or miss, but as of recently, it's been, more along the lines, it's been kind of, Chris Leben's been looking good. He went in there and knocked out, he handed Aaron Simpson, previously undefeated, the A-Train, Aaron Simpson, his first loss by way of knockout, and then went in and really surprised me by submitting Yoshihiro Akiyama. Yeah, that's right, Chris Leben knows submissions now. Chris Leben, he's a very heavy hitter, got an incredibly tough chin, very usually difficult to finish. He's been in the fight game for a while, very experienced. And Brian Stann, a former Marine, he was once in charge of 45 men during a tour in Iraq. He won the Silver Star. He does hold some victories. Let me see, this is again Chris Leben. Leben also beat Jay Silva, Alessio Sakara, and Terry Martin, Jorge Santiago, all those people. And Brian Stann, he's got wins over Mike Macenzio. His last loss was to Phil Davis, Rodney Wallace, Steve Cantwell, and Doug Marshall. He beat Steve Cantwell twice, I think. And anyway, what I think is going to happen in this fight, unless Brian Stann can surprise us and use his size and strength to his advantage and get a decision, I see Leben winning this one by early third round TKO. And next fight, Brandon Vera, coming off of is going to try to establish himself again after a loss to Randy Couture and a crushing loss to John Jones. He's been out of the UFC for a while. He got his orbital bone broken. And the bigger, stronger Thiago Silva, at least I think he's the stronger, is coming off of he hasn't been in the UFC for about a year now. And his last loss was a decision loss against Rashad Evans, in which he got some criticism. I think this fight is going to just depend on who wants to win this matchup more. I'm going to go with Thiago Silva by unanimous decision or Thiago Silva by second round knockout or TKO. If Brandon Vera can win, he needs to be hungry for it. And as of recently, he hasn't really looked hungry to get a win or to get that finish. So, alright. And the next fight, or the fight before that one, Nate Diaz versus the undefeated Dong Hyun Kim. Diaz coming off of a submission victory. Wait, hold on. Nate Diaz, brother of Nick Diaz, a tough fighter for pretty much anyone in the lightweight division. His last loss was to Gray Maynard, of course, that's kind of strange. And before that, he beat Melvin Gillard. He lost to Joe Daddy Stevenson. He lost to Clay Guida. He beat Roy Markham by TKO, and he beat Marcus Davis. So, he'll be facing Dong Hyun Kim this time. Hold on. Dong Hyun Kim, pretty impressive in a victory. He has got great ground control. He's the bigger fighter. He's got really good judo throws. He's a judo master practitioner. He pursued judo while in New Zealand as a hobby, of course. He's got 15 total fights, 13 wins with no losses and 2 no contests. He's not, all about finishing fighters, but he has victories over TJ Grant, Amir Sadala, Matt Brown, and Jason Tan. I think Diaz with his unorthodox kind of mosquito bite punches, if that makes any sense. I think Diaz is going to be the better striker, the better submission artist, and he's going to catch Dong Hyun Kim with things that Kim has not seen yet. So I'm going to pick Nate Diaz to win this by unanimous decision or split decision, because Kim might win the first round. But the Diaz brothers do usually have trouble if they're up against really good wrestlers with superb ground control. So, or I'm going to pick Diaz to win by submission triangle choke. That's how I think it's going down. And the last fight I'm going to call Takanori Gomi versus Clay Guida. I don't think anyone expected Takanori Gomi after his performance against Kenny Florian to go in there and knock out Tyson Griffin in just a minute. And So Takanori Gomi, the first and only Pride lightweight champion. He's handled his business in the past. He's lost to the likes of Nick Diaz too, and he'll be facing Clay Guida. I don't see how this fight could be that boring. Guida is just coming off of a victory over Rafael Dos Anjos, in which Dos Anjos was just controlled the entire fight by Guida, and Guida's chin is very tough, so I don't see Takanori Gomi coming in with the knockout power that he did against Tyson Griffin, but in a way I hope Takanori Gomi wins. But I'm gonna pick Clay Guida to win by TKO or unanimous decision. That's it. So Happy New Year, guys. Bye.